What's up YouTube? It's Pizzscn here. This is going to be one of my nerdier videos. In this video what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do is I'm going to be showing you guys basically how you can record your Rubik's Cube solves into a spreadsheet and have them automatically like graph them out so that way you can look at your times visually, and that way you can, you know, it basically it's going to make it a lot easier to see how you're doing in terms of solving the Rubik's Cube, for the most part, because it's going to automatically graph it out. It'll be visual, and you'll be able to see, you know, how good you're doing at it. So, what you're going to need for this is obviously you're really only going to need a spreadsheet application. Now, in my case, and get ready, I'm not sure how this is going to work, but the panning option in this program is not very good. But in this case, as you can see right here, I'm using Microsoft Excel. So sorry about that super sudden jump. Bam. We're back. So in this case, I'm using Office Excel. If you're on a Mac, you will probably have iWork, although you might also even have Office for Mac or whatever. But if you don't have any of those, there is a program that is called OpenOffice. I particularly don't like OpenOffice, but it is good enough to hold you over until you can get something like Microsoft Office. So there you go. Something else to keep in mind, this is Office 2003, so if you're using Office 2007, the layout might be a little different, although it will work pretty much the exact same way. It's not going to be like dramatically different in terms of how you do this. And the same thing goes actually for anything. For any spreadsheet application, they all work pretty much the same, which is really nice. So there should be a universal video, even though I am using Excel, and you might be using numbers for your Mac, or again, math for OpenOffice or whatever. So yeah, but it should work the same way. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to determine, okay, well, I want to figure out, you know, I want to be able to monitor how good I'm doing at the Rubik's Cube. So how am I going to go about doing that? Well, you should really start by thinking about, do I want to do an average? And I would recommend that you actually do average solves for this. And the more solves you do for the average, the better, the more accurate it's going to be. So if you do, like for instance, an average of 5 solve will be a bit more accurate than an average of 3 solve, because, you know, if you get like a super duper good solve and an average of 5 solve, that's just unusually good for you. It shouldn't have too big an impact on your time. It will definitely have an impact, but you know, it won't be like a dramatic one. As opposed to if you do that in an average of 3 solve, yes, there will be quite a big difference there, and you might want to consider doing average of 5 solves. So in this particular video, I'm just going to do an average of 3 solves, just so that way we can keep it simple. But I would recommend that you do an average of 5 solve at least, or at most, or I mean, you can do like even an average of 6 solve if you want to. That's even better. But yeah, but for my personal use, I am doing average of 5 solves just because. But in this case, just to keep the video simple, we're going to do average of 3 solves. So what we're going to want to do, and you can actually put this particular thing anywhere you want to. I'm just going to do it here up top so we keep it simple. But what I'm going to do is right here, alright, so pick a cell, any cell, doesn't matter what cell it is. I'm just going to do B1, why not, just because it's right there. But then pick any cell, and in that cell, put AVG1, okay? AVG1 for average. Now again, if you're only doing 1 solve, if you're not interested in doing the average thing, then just put solve 1, okay? But I'm doing averages, so I want to do average 1. And then go to the cell next to it. So I was right here originally. I'm now going to cell C1, and put AVG2. All right. And again, if you're doing a solve, if you're only doing 1 solve, do solve 2, and you know, pretty self-explanatory there. Then go to the next one, do average 3. Next one, do average 4, and in this case, let's only do average 5. Let's only do 5 averages total. You can't go as far as you want to. There is like no limits in this program. You literally have an unlimited spreadsheet here. It's just completely endless. But anyway, Now you want to come down to the adjacent cell to look for the average one cell. You want to go to the cell that's adjacent to it, so from here to here. Okay, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type in, if you're doing averages, alright, if you're doing average of, in this case, 3 solves, then you're going to want to do solve 1, and actually it doesn't matter how many averages you're doing, or how many solves you're doing per average, but, you know, you're going to do solve 1, but if you're not doing averages, just put time, and put time, alright, just put time, or solve time. Actually, no, if you're doing just solves, put time, and then put in parentheses in seconds, because we are going to be converting these to seconds, so it's easier to plot. Alright, and then we're going to do solve 2, and in this case we're doing an average of 3, so we're going to stop at solve 3. Okay, if you're doing an average of 5, obviously you're going to go all the way down to solve 5, and you know, so on and so forth. But once you get, you know, to where you need to be, then directly below that you're going to want to put average. Okay? And there you go. This is where, and so in this area right here, that is where everything's going, including this one. I don't know why I didn't select it, but there you go. So, however, before we go ahead and do that, we need to set up some more things. For starters, we need to make a graph, a chart, so that way we'll be able to visually see it. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way now. And it doesn't matter what program you are using. There should be a button in there that looks like a bar graph, okay? It shouldn't matter what program you're using. That is your chart button. So go ahead and hit here. Alright, let's come back down. Alright, so this is the chart wizard. So, as you can see, we've got a lot of different choices. Choose, go ahead and click on line and choose the first one. Alright, don't do anything fancy. And no matter what you do, do not do a 3D line graph. Just do not do 3D anything. It's too confusing to look at, okay? Now, if you're doing a pie graph, which you shouldn't do, that's fine, but for the case of a line graph, which is what we are doing because it's the best choice, do not do 3D. That's just not a good idea. So hit next. Now we're going to want to select the data range. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to select the average cells. So select this. Do not select the average cell itself. Don't do that. Just select everything that's in that row. Right in there. Alright? So from here to here. Okay? So that's that. Going to then hit next. And now it's going to ask us to name our chart. Now you might be thinking, well, you know, why do I have to name it? Naming your chart is very important, actually. This is one of the, if anything, this is the most important step in making a graph or a chart, so you can, you know, to visualize data. So people want to know what it's about. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Rubik's Cube. And if you want to get specific enough, you can put like 3 by 3 if you want to. But average of 3 solves over time. There we go. That right there. So, and now in this next block, it's saying category x-axis. That is this right here, in case you didn't know that. We're going to put average number. Alright, so this is the average number, basically. It's, don't know any better way to explain that. And then in the y-axis, put average time. In parentheses, you're going to put in seconds. So that way they know, okay, that is basically that in seconds. Alright, there's that. Now we're going to hit next. Now, if you want to make sure that you have this button here selected as object in, and then have sheet 1 selected. If you have this one selected, which I think is selected by default, it's going to create a new tab. There's these little tab things down here, as you see right there. These little tab things. And it's going to make a new tab and put the chart in there. But if you want to have everything together, select as object in and then sheet 1. Then hit finish. And this is our graph right here. Right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this up there. Alright, now we're actually not done yet. because now we want to set up these average cells here. So go ahead and click on the first average cell right here. So click this and look for a button that is labeled FX, okay? It should look like this. Oh, it's on your screen. That is a universal button, alright? It does not matter what program you're using, there will be an FX button. It is just completely universal. You want to find that, and in this case for Office 2003, it is right here. Click that, okay? And then you'll see something that looks like this. You want to find the option for average, which is right here. Hit OK. Okay? And now, let's move this out of the way. What you want to do here is you want to select all of the cells above it, except don't select the average one cell. Just select these cells, alright, that are in between, you know, well, I can't show it to you, but that are in between this cell and this cell. Alright, so select all those. Then hit OK. Alright, and you'll see you'll have a little error message right there. Just ignore that. And you want to do that for the rest of these. Average, okay. Want those, okay. So just do that for the rest of them. I apologize for the TV in the background. Isn't this fun, guys? Actually, I do find this somewhat amusing. I don't know why. Okay, now we are ready to begin plotting our data. So let's go ahead and do that. So now let's say that you are, now you're ready to begin doing your solves. So let's say that you do your first solve. Let's actually pull this out a little bit. Actually, for some reason it's not showing average 5. Interesting. We want it to show average 5, and it is. I don't know. Anyway, basically, yes. So, I really don't know what's going on there. Okay. So let's say that you're solving it, and you say you get a minute, and let's say you get a minute and 5 for your first solve. Now, if you do get over a minute in a solve, converting it to seconds is literally the easiest thing in the world. Just if it's just take how many minutes you have, multiply that by 60, alright, and hopefully you only have 1 minute, so you won't have to do that. So if you have 1 minute, it'll be just 60, and then you want to take that resulting number, and you want to add that to how many seconds you have. So in this case, I want to take 60 and add that to 5, and so I have a 65 minutes, or 65 second solve. So say I have like 65.87 or something like that. Boom. And you can see what's going on down here. That automatically went down to the average thing, because since we set that up, it's going to automatically average it out for us. So now, let's say we do a 68.34 second solve. Okay, you see that right there. And then, let's say we get like 62.78, something like that, I don't know. And there we go. Holy crap. You can see what's going on right here. As you can see, that is the average, but it's not averaging it the way we want it to. We want it to only show 2 decimals. So in this case, go ahead and select all of these average cells. Right click, go down to format cells. Okay, and then from here, find number, set decimal places to 2, and then hit OK. And now it'll plot it right. It'll average it right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and say that we're doing a little better. Now let's say we're getting like, 63.76. What just happened down here? See that? It's automatically plotting out as we go. And it looks pretty dramatic there, but, obviously as we keep filling this out, that will fix itself. So, now we have 60, let's say we have 61.32. Oops. And let's say we get like a 58.70 solve. Pretty cool. Alright. And you saw I took that 0 away automatically because that 0 was unnecessary. Now let's say that we're getting better. We're at like 57.67. And you can see how it's still plotting that out for us. Alright, and then 55.45. And say we get like this really awesome 90. Oh, somewhat awesome. I don't know. Alright. Now we're doing really good. Now we're getting like 48 second solves. And you know, obviously this is actually improving. Then 42. Let's say this is like a lucky solve. Alright, there's a lucky solve. Boom. See how dramatic that was? Alright, and actually I'll show you that. 60, or not 67, now let's say we get like a more reasonable solve, like 46.78. Boom. You can see how dramatic that is, though, from our usual 48 and 46, you know. It is still 46, but if this were like, you know, if we had even more in there, it would be a bit more, it would be a bit closer to what you'd usually expect there. But now let's say you can, like, on average, 35 second solves, because you're just super duper good now. Oh, so it did still plot that out, huh? Let's say you get like 32.31, which is insane. Let's say you get like a 28 second solve, which is super duper lucky or something. See how dramatic that was there? I actually wasn't paying attention, but there you go. Okay. That is basically that. You can see now, you can now visually look at what this looks like. If you want to, actually I don't know how you can change that label there. For some reason it's showing that, which is a little annoying, to tell you the honest truth. I haven't been able to figure out how to fix that. In fact, it didn't actually do that to me when I was doing it before I made this video, so that way you can make sure I knew how to do it still. But yeah, it actually did not do that little thing with the green there. I don't know what's going on with that, but there you go. Just what's going on, I guess. I'm pretty sure actually, if you want to, maybe there's a way to, if you select it, I don't know. Go, oh no, alright, never mind. Undo. Alright, anyway, that's that. If you want to, I would also maybe recommend that you put the date that you come up with each of these averages. I recommend you put that somewhere down here if you want to, just so that way in case you can't do it as often as you'd like to. Like, let's say you have like this super duper dramatic drop, like right here. Let's say that you have like these like 32 or these like 32 second solves going down right here, like these 30-second solves going on, and like let's say that you did this like 2 months later and you have this super duper crazy drop there. Yeah, you could put that, ooh, I actually you know, if you put the date that you did it there, then you realize, oh, I accidentally skipped a week, and that was 2 weeks later. So there you go. That'd just be a good thing to do, maybe. So there you go. Yep, that is basically it. Hopefully this video helped you. If it did or didn't, you can let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Adios.